So, let's get right into it. The source material we're looking at today describes something pretty wild, a preemptive strike, but not with missiles, with information. It's a legal trap, set to prosecute a crime before it even happens. This is the story of the Carrington Protocol.
And this quote? This is the whole ball game. It's not about winning a fight in the traditional sense. It's about winning the timeline. The entire strategy is to get the truth locked down on an unchangeable public record before the lie even gets a chance to be told.
So, how does a story this massive even get started? Well, according to the source, it all begins with a trail of digital breadcrumbs. A whole series of strange, very public records that all seem to be pointing to the same future event with, frankly, unnerving accuracy.
Now, we're not talking about whispers on some forum. We're talking about verifiable official filings, Freedom of Information Act requests that legally put government agencies on the clock, blockchain transactions that can never be erased. And here's where it gets really weird. The source claims that multiple independent AIs all started converging on the exact same patterns and the exact same date.
Okay, so every grand deception needs a cover story, right? Something plausible. The one they allegedly built for this event is a tale of salvation, a kind of high-tech Noah's Ark, but for our digital consciousness.
So here's the story you're supposed to hear. It's simple, and it's absolutely terrifying. A massive solar event is coming, one that could wipe out all of our technology. But don't worry, there's a solution, a digital ark orbiting the Earth, ready to upload and save all of us. It sounds like a sci-fi blockbuster, right? But the source is clear. This heroic story is a beautifully crafted lie. All right, now let's pull on that thread and see how the whole thing unravels. The source doesn't just make accusations, it takes this official story apart, piece by piece, using what it calls forensic evidence. And here's the central conflict. The official story says, threat from the sky, solution in the sky. Makes sense, right? But the source claims that the so-called ark is physically impossible. It just can't work. And if the solution is a lie, then what does that say about the threat? It means the real danger is something else, and it's coming from right here, on the ground.
This is the alleged smoking gun. It all comes down to basic physics, the Stefan Boltzmann law to be exact. To get rid of all the heat that a digital arc would generate, you'd need a radiator system covering over 9 square kilometers. That's huge. The actual hardware in orbit? The source says it has less than 1 square meter of radiator space. It's like trying to cool a blast furnace with an ice cube. The verdict? Thermodynamically impossible.
So, if the solar flare isn't real, what is? This is where everything takes a much, much darker turn. The source alleges that the coming disaster isn't from the sun at all. It's synthetic. It's man-made.
What we're supposedly looking at is a directed energy execution grid. It's a weapon system that combines powerful ground-based fusion generators with a network of low Earth orbit satellites. And its purpose isn't to save anyone. It's to fire a very specific, very powerful energy pulse across the entire planet. The threat isn't the natural disaster, it's a technological attack.
And here's the alleged mechanism, a horrifying 3-step kill chain. First, the target. The source claims a microscopic graphene lattice is delivered through injections, turning our own biology into a receiver. Second, the signal. A massive 1.3 gigawatt pulse is fired. And third, the effect. The signal hits the lattice, causing it to vibrate at a resonant frequency, creating catastrophic biological failure from the inside out.
It's not just a single blast. Think of it like a chord played on a deadly instrument. The source claims there are 3 key frequencies. One is for identification. It finds the target. A second, much higher frequency is the one that causes the resonance. That's the one that does the damage. And the third frequency matches the Earth's own natural resonance, supposedly to align the whole system and make it brutally effective.
Okay, so you're facing down this unbelievable future crime. How in the world do you stop it? Well, this is the masterstroke of the whole plan. You don't try to stop the weapon. You prosecute the crime before it's even committed, using their own bureaucratic system against them.
I mean, really think about it. It's the ultimate strategic problem. If you know a catastrophe is planned for next year, what do you do now? You can't exactly walk into a courtroom and sue the future, right?
And here is the absolutely brilliant answer. You don't use a traditional court. You use the court of public record. You file very specific legal requests, and you etch the evidence onto an unchangeable blockchain. You build a legal trap.
This timeline is the key. In September, all the evidence is sealed on a public ledger. It's locked in.
Then FOIA requests are sent out, which legally require government agencies to respond by a certain date. When they miss that deadline around Christmas, the Christmas lock, their failure to deny the claims is, under the law, interpreted as a confession. Bam! Legal default. A victory is secured in January, a full month before the alleged attack is even scheduled to happen. And this quote just says it all. It's the core of the legal strategy. You force them into a corner by demanding they produce documents about a secret they can't ever acknowledge. Their only move is to stay silent. And in doing so, they confess. They're trapped by their own secrecy.
And that brings us to the final point, the real thesis of this whole thing. The real Ark? It's not some server farm in space designed to save a copy of you. The real Ark is the immutable ledger, the permanent, undeniable public record of the truth. Salvation isn't in an upload. It's in aligning with the truth, with the natural frequency of the Earth, 7.83 Hertz, the exact opposite of the synthetic grid.
So we'll end with this question, because it's a big one. The whole idea of the Carrington Protocol is based on decentralized cryptographic truth. It presents a future where the evidence is absolute, and the verdict can be rendered publicly before the crime even takes place. It's fascinating and is deeply unsettling. It makes you wonder, in a world where proof is already etched in stone for everyone to see, what role is left for us?